How is your fundraiser going this year? If it's anything less than amazing, it's time to talk to Sean Murphy at FanPledge. No product to sell, nothing to deliver, and guaranteed results. Raise at least 10% more than your current donation-based fundraiser, or it's free. Fun, fast, proven. Call Sean at 903-948-7348. FanPledge. The champions are already on board. Are you? Band Yap is proudly sponsored by Troubadour Consultants. When it comes to planning group travel for your fine arts program, look no further than Troubadour Consultants. Whether you're organizing a major out-of-state trip or need top-notch accommodations for the state marching contest, John Mize and his team are ready to create a custom travel experience that meets your band's unique needs. As a family-owned, band director-run company, Troubadour understands exactly what it takes to make your trip stress-free and seamless. Plus, when you book a trip with Troubadour, they will sponsor a $500 college scholarship for a student in your band. Directors who book will also receive a free Mollard baton as a special thank you. Visit troubadourconsultants.com today to start planning your next trip with the experts who truly get it. I can recover from a bad band day.
Yeah, but you don't want to screw up your kid.
I don't want to give my kid trauma, you know?
Yes. Yes. At this point, it's just as vital as the Dairy Queen question. It's
exactly
the worst song ever written.
Mm-hmm. And why is it Boomer Sooner?
And why is it Boomer? And how is it Boomer Sooner?
Hello and welcome back to Band Yap. My name is Alexa Sanchez.
And I'm Jose Sanchez.
And today we have a very dear friend with us, actually. We have Dr. Stephanie DeLuca.
Yay! So Stephanie is a little bit of a journeywoman as far as like her experiences in music education. So Stephanie, where have you been?
Just wandering, just trying to find my way home.
Wow. And you finally made it.
I know.
Yes.
Congratulations.
It just took technically two other states and
it was a detour. It was a detour for sure.
All paths lead back to Texas. You know what makes me sad? That your children were born in Utah.
I know, but you should see those kids eat chips and salsa.
They got here as fast as they could.
I know. I don't care what their birth certificate says. I know they're Texans because I see the amount of salsa that my daughter eats on her chip. Like, she doesn't dip and let it drip off. Like, she scoops.
It's an investment.
Yes.
It's an investment. Okay, I don't know if we've actually ever talked about this on the podcast, but apparently the practice rooms or something in the water at Baylor University is radioactive. Because the percussion studio that Alexa has graduated from has an outstanding, and when I say outstanding, I mean anyone in that studio who has children, they've all have had twins
and
up to this point.
Girl twins.
Yeah. Yes. Like, which is like batty because there's Ricky. They've had twins. Yes. There is Tristan. Mm-hmm. They have twins. Yep. Us. Yep. And then Stephanie and James. James was in the studio, but by proxy.
No, James was in the studio.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying Stephanie. Oh, and so did but all these twins, and then Taylor is dating a twin.
Engaged.
Sorry,
too.
I mean they're still dating, right? Is being engaged still dating?
Are we still dating?
I think we're still dating. Stephanie, are you still dating James? Ooh.
Are we dating though? Jose?
Yeah, we're dating.
Okay. We don't go on many dates.
Well, it's because you abuse me.
My God. Ooh. Back to the payday.
Hold up. I'm a mandatory reporter. Hold up.
Yeah, so are we. Stephanie's like, let me start recording.
We are recording. Well, Stephanie, we're so happy to see you again. It's been way too long, but we're here to talk about how awesome you are and everything that you bring to music education. So let's start at the beginning. Can you tell us about yourself, background, education, teaching experience, all that good stuff?
Yeah, for sure. Well, for starters, I'm so excited that we finally found an opportunity to do this. So thank you guys so much. You're the best. Love you both. Mean it. So I grew up in a very musical family. My dad is a music minister. And so because of that, we moved around quite a bit. We would usually move every 3 to 4 years. And so I was born in Corsicana, but
I didn't know
moved
you were
around.
born in Corsicana.
I was born in Nevada Regional Hospital. Yep.
Wow, go Tigers. I did
I
not know that.
know. Yeah. And lived there until I was maybe 4 or 5. And then we moved to Ennis. And then we moved to Waxahachie. And then we moved to Mansfield, which is actually where I started sixth grade band. So I went to Mary Ori Intermediate, and this was back when Mansfield was just one high school. But my middle school band directors, both of them had doctorates. So I went to an incredible middle school program, and there were like 60 flutes in my sixth grade flute class. It was insane. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The only time we ever played together as a sixth grade band was like the day of the concert on the stage, because it basically took up there was like 300 in the sixth grade band. It was insane. But yeah, I just grew up in a musical family and did band because my parents were both band people and always wanted to play an instrument. My brother was in band. I quite literally picked the flute because it was the smallest case, and I had some trauma from my brother making me carry his trombone home from school because he would make me carry it every day. So I was like, well, if I'm going to pick my own case, I'm going to pick something that's small. So went through that program there in Mansfield, had a great experience in middle school, then moved down to Houston and went to school in Houston, some middle school, and started high school in Houston, and then moved back to Corsicana my sophomore year, which is where I graduated from high school. And then while I was in Corsicana, that's only about an hour from Waco. That's when I started going to the Baylor band camps, and that is where I met Mrs. Shanley, and who was the flute professor at Baylor at the time, and just absolutely fell in love with her while I was at the Baylor band camps, and started taking flute lessons from her while I was in high school. So my parents would drive me to Waco once a week and take lessons from her, and basically made up in my mind. I was like, this is where I'm going. I want to study with her. So went there, got a degree in music education, and while I was there, took as many conducting classes as I could, and was kind of approached by Dr. Wilson about doing a master's in conducting. And so I did a master's in conducting at Baylor immediately after my graduated with my bachelor's degree. And then after I finished my master's, I student taught at Robinson. And so while I was there, got really close with Robin Williamson, and she's actually the person who got me my first job at Clifton, because the woodwind person at Clifton was leaving, and Keith Zolke called her and was like, "I need a woodwind person," and she was like, it's Stephanie, like she's it, just hire her." And I think he just took her word for it. I was like, okay. Taught at Clifton for 3 years and absolutely loved being there, loved that program. And then I decided to go back to school. And so I applied for one doctoral program because I knew where I wanted to go. And I told myself if I didn't get in, then I would just wait and reapply because that's where I wanted to go. And luckily I got in, and that was Florida State. So I went to Florida State and I got a PhD in music education with an emphasis in wind band conducting. After I graduated with that degree, I got my first higher ed teaching job at the University of Utah as the assistant director of athletic bands. And then I taught there for 4 years.
I refuse to say go Utes. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Go Utes, go Noles.
I went to that Baylor game on Saturday.
Oh, it's still fresh. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
man.
I'm sorry. Yeah. And then just wanted to make my way back home to Texas. So especially after having our twins, it was just getting really hard to be away from family. So when the job at East Texas A&M popped up, I applied for it, and the stars aligned, and I got it. And so now I'm the interim director of athletic bands at East Texas A&M University in Commerce, Texas.
Where's James
Lions.
DeLuca in that story?
I know there's a James DeLuca we're forgetting about.
Okay, well, I didn't forget about him. To be fair, you asked
That's
about
true.
me.
That's true. You're right. You're right. We did ask that.
I figured James would have his own question bullet point. So
that's true. You're right.
Yes,
You're
very
not wrong.
true. Very true. Well, so Stephanie, you have had quite a journey, not only as like music education goes as far as your development, but you've also had like a journey with like the education and the different types of states that you went to in your own, educational foundation. So let me go ahead and ask you this question. Like how has Texas been different in comparison to Florida and to Utah?
So when people say that Texas really is its own little unique special bubble, it's true, and I feel like you don't really that doesn't really make sense until you leave Texas. Because I heard that growing up, I was like, "Oh, bands are so great here. It's not anywhere like that other places." And I was like, "Oh, sure," um, but it really is that way. Florida, I feel like, is similar in that football is a really big deal there. So marching band is still a big deal, but just not on the same level. One of the biggest differences from Texas to Florida is that Florida does not have any state funding for any fine arts. So all of the money for all of the marching band, concert band, any fine arts has to be completely fundraised. So the teachers, on top of all of the classes that they're teaching, are having to fundraise every dollar that goes towards their music program. So that changes the way that halftime shows look. They don't have as much money for props or maybe for show design, clinicians, just new working instruments, just all the things that money can provide to help the students have a better experience. It's just, it's just different in that regard in the way that it's set up for the state funding. There's still a lot of incredible bands there. Now, as far as Utah is just set up from the ground up very differently. So, for example, marching band and concert band are at the same time and they're two separate classes. So in Texas and in Florida, band is year round and you have marching band in the fall and concert band in the spring. In Utah, concert band is year round and marching band is not actually a class but like an after school activity. So you still have kids that are in concert band but they don't do marching band, or they're in marching band but they don't do concert band. So it's very strange. So that kind of diminishes your numbers a little bit. Then you have kids who just do jazz band or just do concert band and jazz band but don't do marching band. And so the kids that want to do all those things, they're just filled up with classes. They have to do concert band on top of marching band before or after school. And then the ones that want to do jazz band, it's just loads down their schedule. And then bands also don't perform at football games in Utah. So like halftime shows is not the norm. So I know what y'all are probably thinking, that's a rep of your show that you don't get. So they go to twice, 2 or 3 times as many competitions in the fall as a Texas band would. So there's competitions that start at the beginning of September, and there will be one every single weekend until November. And there will be some bands that will go to 8 marching contests. And it's every weekend. And it's exhausting. So they have football games on Friday night that they have to go to, but they don't perform at halftime. And then they have to go to a contest on Saturday. And it's just a lot on those students. And because of that, you see burnout. You see kids that don't want to do college marching band because they're just exhausted from it in high school because they just did it so much and just it consumed so much of their time in the fall. So that's kind of the taste that they get in their mouth as far as marching band. But yeah, it's interesting. And then bands also don't travel. So if they do perform at football games or go to a football game, sometimes it's just a pep band, and then they don't go to any away games. They only play the home games. So
that is the kind of been the thing that we've heard from lots of people, is that outside of Texas, bands don't travel to away games.
In Florida, do they travel to away games?
yes, they did. At least James's did. So
Yeah.
I guess this is where I can talk about James. So my husband, I, um, so
I
I met,
guess we could talk about you,
God,
James.
James.
yeah. So I am married to a Baylor percussion alum, and he is a high school band director. So we are living that dual band director married life, and so he has taught. Now he was when I got into FSU, he was the amazing human that he was, and went with me because we were married, and I dragged him along. But
You were
and
married though for like 1 week.
okay, it was like a week and a half.
A week and a half.
Yeah,
Sucker.
yeah.
Going to
No,
Florida.
we literally moved to Florida like the day after we got back from our honeymoon, and so he taught there while I was in grad school, and then he moved to Utah with me and taught in the Salt Lake Valley while I was teaching at the U. And then now he is the director of bands at Bonham High School, and yeah, he's just crushing it. But when he was in Florida, he did have to travel to all of the away games for his school. But I think that's because football, Florida is still the South, and football is still big. You know, even though it's not Texas football, it's still the South is still takes their football very seriously.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Oh, Jimbo. I'm
Mm,
like, we're the only people who call him Jimbo.
That was just like a
literally.
percussion studio thing that's stuck with me. I can't speak for anybody else.
Like honestly, I have a hard time calling him James.
I know, and his government name is James.
James, yes,
so
but I just call him Jimbo.
I do too. I don't know. I'm sorry, James. I'm sorry that's I'm sorry that's the thing that's stuck.
I think he embraces it.
That's good.
Well, so Stephanie, you touched on it a little bit, but like, how important was like the family like atmosphere to your development as a music educator, not just as a band student, but a music educator?
How much was my family impacted it?
Yeah, I mean, because like, first of all, your family is some of the nicest people I've ever met in my life.
Yes.
Like they are
Can
just
confirm.
like super nice. Your dad has always been like the most wonderful stand-up person. Like your family is just great, wholesome like people, except for Will. Will's another animal.
Will is not wholesome people.
No, he's
Oh
not.
my
Wholesome
gosh.
We'll call out Will on the podcast. So,
Wow.
no, love Will. But like your family is just like so ingrained in like the musical ideology and like and just preaches music education and music experience. Like how has that formed you as an educator?
It has everything to do with how I am as a person, as a teacher, as a musician. I have there's a lot of teachers in my family. My grandmother was a teacher, an elementary teacher for over 40 years. My aunt has a piano performance degree from Baylor. My uncle, so all three of my dad is the oldest of three. So his sister and brother, they're all musicians. And my uncle is also a music minister. So just a very musical family from that side. My mom was in high school band, played clarinet, and then twirled, and then she twirled in college. She wasn't a music major in college, but she did was the feature twirler for the Navarro College band, and
Heck
that's how
yeah.
she met my dad. So my parents met in college band, and then I mean I grew up in the church music setting. Like I was always at praise band rehearsal with my parents, and I was always there early for choir rehearsal and stayed late. And I played in the youth praise band. I played in the church orchestra from when I was in sixth grade. I just, I swear, we used to joke that my dad would just teach us instruments so he didn't have to hire people. So
I could see that. I could see that. Well, and like I really do believe that like good things happen to good people. That karma thing. But like your family is also like I feel like very lucky or just happens to have like this like good luck charm. Maybe it's the red hair.
Maybe so.
Could be.
Because like how many people in your family have red hair?
So my mom is redheaded, and my dad's not technically a redhead, but he has like red in his beard. And then my brother is redheaded, and then he's also married to a redhead. So all of their three of their children are redheaded. So anytime we go any place with their kids, it's overwhelming because their three kids have very very red hair. But they get that from their mom, my sister in law. Because I feel like our color of red is more of a brownish red, but my sister in law has bright red hair. So that's where my nieces and nephew get it from.
Very vibrant.
Yes.
That's
Um
funny.
so like when I say like your family is like really really lucky, like didn't was it James or y'all that did like a cattle draw?
Oh, for a
Oh
steer?
yeah. Yes. So I mentioned in Florida that you had to fundraise for all of your band money. So there was a band kid whose parents were third generation cattle farmers, and they had a cattle and they owned cattle and sold meat. That's what they did for a living. And so they would donate a steer and raffle it off, and that was one of their biggest fundraisers of the year. And so it was Deep Roots Meat would donate the steer, and my grandfather bought one ticket, and that was the ticket that won. There were people that bought like 50 tickets, and it was just ridiculous. And my grandfather bought one ticket,
One
and that
ticket.
was the ticket that was pulled. And so it was half a steer actually, which is still a ton of meat. I mean, we had to go buy a deep freezer because we did not have the room for it. So we had to go to Best Buy and get a deep freeze so that we could put all this meat from this steer that my grandfather won.
What an
So
awful issue.
One
I
ticket.
know
I had to go buy a deep freeze for the all this meat I had to.
all this grass fed, local meat, whatever. Yeah.
But like that's what I mean by like your family I think is so like genuine and wonderful people that I think that a lot of the things that you know I think y'all just have this karma that comes back to y'all because you were genuine people, and I can't say that enough about your family. So I love
Thank
them.
you.
They're great people.
Yeah.
And some of that is because of the giving spirit that your family does imbibe, which is like a huge part of being a music educator. So like through your experience in band, like what like how did you tap into like those types of things, and how did you develop those into like what you do now?
Well, I think part of me always wanted to be a teacher because I just love the connection side of that, and I love the service side of that. Um, and I love that moment when the light bulb clicks on and the kid finally gets it. There's just nothing like that. But I think just being raised around, like you said, I don't know, just always willing to, like, who needs help, like being around, offering, not really expecting anything back. That's kind of what I've just grown up seeing. Like, oh, if we have something to give to someone, like, why not help them? Just always assume good intent too. I just feel like that's how my parents, they always see the good in people. Maybe not the best for like survival instincts because they'll trust strangers. We'll just trust the most random people, and I'm like, we should let's let's back this up a little bit. But no, they're great people, and they really will do just about anything to help someone.
So let me ask you this question: how was because you moved from like several different schools, how was your high school experience different from your teaching experience at a small school?
So, my high school, I went to a massive high school in Houston for 1 year. So, my freshman year, I went to Clear Creek High School in Clear Creek ISD, and it was massive. And then I moved to Corsicana, which at the time was 4A because there was only 5As back then, back in my day. So it was a 4A, but I think Corsicana is 5A now,
Yes.
maybe, question mark.
Yeah, they're 5A.
Yeah. So to me, a 4A school was like so tiny. But it also wasn't necessarily the band at the time was so small. And it just they had several band directors in several years. So I had two band directors in 3 years. So my 3 years of Corsicana, I had two different band directors, and part of that time, about a year of that, we didn't have a band director at all. So there was like a big gap where the middle school directors were kind of stepping in. So it was just kind of inconsistent for a while, and I guess that bothered me because as a student, I wanted consistency, and so that helped me to try to provide that for my students. So like even if I'm not going to stay at an institution or a school forever, I'm going to try to be as consistent and there for my students while I'm there and give 100% regardless of what else is happening in their lives. At least band can be consistent. But I think going through a lot of different schools and having different experiences, yeah, it just made me really want consistency, I think. And then I
I mean,
continued to move around. So,
yeah, I mean, because like you said, you started sixth grade band in one and beginner band in one school. Yes.
yes.
And then you went to a different middle school.
Yes. I started in 6th grade and then we moved to Houston and I went to middle school. I think it was like I went to a different school in 7th and 8th grade. 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, we were in Houston. Yeah.
So already you went to 1, 2, 3 schools, and then you moved to Corsicana. That's 4 schools in your music educational development, like your band development. And that is says a lot about the investment that your parents had in like band, and then the investment that you had as a band student, because we all know like a student who moves around a whole lot from program to school, there is generally gaps somewhere, because like the way I teach is different from the way Alexa teaches, and we're right next to each other in different rooms. You know, there's just a certain approach. I mean, like, so like yesterday I had to like sit in on her trombone class because Alexa had their wonderful job of going to jury duty, doing her civic duty.
I was 65 of
My
65.
gosh.
I was never going to get picked, but I was there till 5:30.
So like I'm like, all right, kids, what do you know? And
Oh my
because I'm just not
gosh.
in that class.
Well, I talked to you about
Yeah,
it.
and like, but my expectation out of like my classes is different than the expectations that you have out of your class, and my pacing's different
I
because
move
we're
a
all
little
people.
bit slower than you.
Yeah, but I am like relentless. I'm like, you're gonna play, but you're gonna listen, listen, like play, listen. Nope, do that again. And it's just like a bombardment of information for my kids versus you're a little bit different methodically.
Yeah.
You also teach trombone when I teach like trumpets.
Yeah, in French horns.
Yes, and French horns. And so like there are just certain things I have to do a little bit different.
You have to be equipped differently to be a trombone player.
I mean, that's true. It's true. And the tuba class is nice and simple. Like they're like, "What's going on, Mr. Sanchez?"
They're
Like
so
I'm
chill.
like, they are the chillest class. Like nonchalant, love it.
Yeah.
So like how after you graduated from Baylor, then you landed in the 3A powerhouse of Clifton High School. Clifton. All
Yeah.
right. So like the Cubs. What? Okay, can we discuss why they're the Cubs and not the Bears?
I think it's because it's so close to Baylor, maybe. This is something I made up in my head, so don't fact check this. But because it's like 45 minutes from Waco, so maybe they didn't want to be like. Plus, their colors are green, so I don't know if they didn't want to copy like, oh, you're just like Baylor or something. So maybe they were like, what is also a cute,
Yeah, maybe
It's
the
also
alliteration.
alliteration. Yeah. Okay.
Clifton
We're on the
Cubs.
same page.
Cubs.
What
I've
else
always
would it
wondered
be?
that.
What's the alternative alliterative
I mean,
mascot?
capybaras.
Caballeros.
Yeah, that one.
The
Chupacabras.
Clifton Chihuahuas.
Jose was talking about the chupacabra with our Spanish teachers today.
I sure was.
One of our lovely Spanish teachers was talking about how something stole one of her goats, and Jose was like, "Maybe it's the chupacabra."
I think it was one of the lambs.
Oh, I think she said it was a ewe.
Yeah.
Ewe?
Yeah.
Ewe.
Ewe.
E-W.
I'm pretty sure that's like a lamb.
Okay. I thought it was a goat.
Sheep?
Sheep? Sheep.
I'm pretty sure
sheep?
I think it's sheep.
I think
because
sheep.
I'm pretty sure
right.
a Joey is a goat.
No, Joey's a kangaroo.
Joey's a kangaroo.
A kangaroo. Oh, okay. You know what? We're going to fact check some of this. Baby
live fact check me. Google a baby Ruth while you're at it.
It's a kid.
A kid?
A kid is a goat.
Is a goat.
That's
a kid.
A lamb is a sheep. Where does you fall?
Oh my goodness. Baby name for sheep.
Baby name.
It's a lamb.
Lambkin. Cosette.
Lambkin? Like Webkins?
Yeah. Aw, like Lammy.
Whatever happened to lamb chops? Do you remember the
I remember lamb
the sock
chop.
puppet?
It was singular, lamb chop.
Lamb chop?
Yeah.
Do you only make one chop out of lamb, or can you get multiple?
That was a puppet, Jose. There's only one of them. Lamb chop and sherry? I loved lamb chop as a child.
I mean, I wasn't into it. I was more into
like,
Sesame Street.
Like connected some synapses somewhere. It's spouting off all this information about lamb chop. I used to have a lamb chop puppet.
I think so did we.
I think my dog ate it.
I think I did too.
This is a big thing in the 90s. Nobody ever talks about that anymore.
Yeah, it's just like when I said something about the cartoon chicken nuggets from McDonald's.
I knew what you were talking about.
Yeah.
You know what my holy grail is that my mom threw away?
What?
My Hercules plates.
Oh, yeah. Those were...
Maybe she has them in storage somewhere.
No, she threw them away.
How do you know?
I had those too. I remember the Megara was the one that I
had
wanted.
That one.
Ah. Oh, man.
I won't say that I'm in love.
Oh, no. I'll say I'm in love.
That's such a good... Like, man, people sleep on Hercules all the time. I'm sorry.
I love Hercules.
Yeah, it's so good. So good. So, like, how did the aspect of Clifton, like, mold you in music education as a band director? Yeah. That was a hard pivot.
Oof.
Gave me whiplash. No, Clifton was an incredible experience. I was so thankful for the time I had at that program. Clifton is very much a band town. Like everybody there loves the band. Like I had the job maybe even a couple of weeks, and I was just in like the Brookshires in Clifton, and like people were like, "Oh, you're the new band director," because I was in the newspaper. It was just a big deal, and people were invested in the band program and the music program, and they cared. Like not just people who had kids in band, but just the community cared about the band program, which is really, really cool. And it was just kind of the thing to do, you know. It's when you went to the football games, everybody stayed in their seats at halftime. Like nobody moved because they all wanted to see the band. And if we performed after, there were a couple of football games where we would perform after the game, they would all stay. And it was just really cool to see how the support was in the community and the support was in the school. And the teachers that I taught with there at the time, it was Keith Zolke and Brian Bronsted. That was the team. So, which they were both Clifton alums, which was really cool. So they both were they sat in the band hall where they were teaching the kids, and they used to say, when I would sit right here, you know, and just talk about the old days. But it was really neat to teach with them because they had such a love for that town because they had gone through that program, and were a product of that program. And it was really inspiring.
Was Don Theody their band director?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
He was. And he would still just show up, like, just unannounced, just show up and walk in the band hall and during any one of our bands and just pop in for the day and just come and sit at marching practice or come pop his head in the middle school. And he was just always around, it seemed like.
And we've talked about Don on the podcast before, but if you don't know who Don Theody is, he is like the one of the catalysts for like small school, like ATSSB, the OPS program, like all that kind of stuff was like a Don Theody. He had something to do with all of it.
I think that we talked about Don with John.
Yes, we did, because Don is John's mentor.
Yes.
And so like, and that comes back to like finding someone that is really, really, really going to help guide you in the direction that you need to go as a music educator. And like you going into that program ever at Clifton, I mean, like if you are in a small school setting, like 3A, 2A, I mean, 4A, it doesn't matter. You've heard about the Clifton band program at some point in time. Mm-hmm. Just because like they are just like rooted in
tradition.
I mean, yeah, tradition. So, and that's something that says a lot, that because not everyone has that opportunity to fall into a program like that. So like, what were some of your responsibilities while you were there at Clifton?
So I directed the 7th grade band with mine. And then I did all of the beginning woodwind classes. And then I did I was the assistant for the high school marching band and did all of the woodwind stuff for that. I helped out with all of the jazz bands, kind of teaching with the middle school, kind of helping the doublers, like the flute players that moved over to saxophone, like helping with them and doing sectionals for the high school band and sectionals for the middle school 8th grade band and jazz groups. But my main ensemble was the 7th grade band. That was my baby while I was there. And then all the woodwind stuff.
So like, how did that experience really influence the way you approach collegiate teaching?
Yeah. I think knowing exactly what to tell my like being able to tell my students, you need to know this because I feel like now the majority of my students are future music educators. And so I can pull on my experience and say, this is something that you need to know how to do because I wish I had known it or I had to know this, because there were definitely things that in the time where I was like, man, we all figure out those things the hard way along the way. And so I can really pull on my experience from those smaller schools and help them to kind of learn those things beforehand. And just use that as, I don't know. Does that make sense?
No, yeah. Okay. Because like, here's the thing. The teachers I respected so much in college were the people that I knew that put in the time in the public school. And like, those were and I hate to say this, but those were the people that I tended to listen to a little bit more intently because they had fought certain battles that like collegiate people don't always have to fight.
That's what I used to get so frustrated with, is like the disconnect between like, yes, this is my methods class, but is any of this actually valuable?
Yeah. And I'm going to say this. Hopefully I don't catch, hands for this. But like, being able to teach band versus conduct band are two different things.
Oh my God, yes.
And like,
look, she has a conducting degree and she said it. So.
And I think that's something people miss out. Like, I can get up and I can like look great. I mean, I don't look great when I conduct. I could, but I don't put the same energy in that as I do as trying to teach my band.
Yes. I have seen some incredibly talented conductors that look beautiful on the podium and their bands don't sound good because their energy is self-serving. They're like, how can I make this cue look as cool as possible? But, their horns don't know how to breathe.
I think that's something that's missed sometimes. And like, so like real talk, like that's why part of the reason why I respect Dr. Wilson so much is because like Dr. Wilson has had opportunities to teach in different facets.
Dr. Wilson knows his stuff.
Yeah. Like his conducting is one thing, but he knows how to teach band. And I've had,
school.
Yes. And so like, and then when he was over at Abilene Christian, he was like also the saxophone professor. And so like continuously like refining your craft by teaching, and then he gets into a band setting and that's just amplified. And that's not always the case for everyone.
Yeah, it's like I've talked to Jesus actually about this a little bit from time to time, but there are people that are really good at driving the car, and then there is another group of people that can take the engine apart and rebuild it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And some of the people that conduct, they're just driving. But a lot of these master teachers like are rebuilding engines on a daily basis. And I feel like Dr. Wilson could probably do that.
Well, and that's another reason why like I respect middle school directors the way I respect them, because like that is building the engine.
Yeah.
Like Robert
From scratch.
Yeah, Robert Herring's like and like that's a fantastic program, but like him doing the things he was able to do with middle school band is absolutely ridiculous.
Yes.
And like people are like, oh, he has a private lesson program. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Robert can still teach his butt off.
Like, oh my goodness, if you've ever gone to a clinic of his,
Yes.
it's like you walk out of there and you're like, I'm gonna teach better.
Well, yeah, and like the clinic that he and Taylor gave with
Was it Cindy?
Cindy Lansford, yeah, when they were talking about, what was that clinic called? It was talking about setting up your instrument, like each instrument correctly, and like the main like pitfalls and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they are just so insistent on that kind of stuff, and that is really drives like no matter what age you are, no matter any of that stuff, just how you should do the thing. And that is why they're so good.
Well, and I think that's another thing is that like for me in my college experience is like I would have to go to a class and know that a few of my professors, I currently have 17 more years of experience in public education than they do.
As a 17-year public education educator.
You know, and that's like and I knew that going in as a student.
Gosh, you're old.
I know I am old. But like where you're at, Stephanie, like you have public education, you know, experience. You're married to a band director. You know, you see the things James goes through on a normal basis. Like, how has that been for you as a wife of a band director? And how do you handle that in your family dynamic?
Well, we're still trying to figure it out. So our twins are 2.5, and they're wonderful and crazy.
Been there.
And you know, we decided to move across the country. That was fun. And of course, you know, with 2 band directors at the busiest time right before the fall. I mean, when else would we move? So we just both got thrown into the busiest part of our professions, in both new jobs, in new places, with kids. But I feel like James and I are just taking it, I don't know, one day at a time. Like there's some days that we like feel like we crush it, and there's some days where we're just like, man, today sucked, and we just, you know, we'll try again tomorrow. Like just gotta, yeah, we're still kind of learning how to do that balance, but we're getting there. We're definitely not, we don't have it figured. I don't think anybody has it figured out, but.
Do you guys talk about band at home?
We do. I know we probably shouldn't, but we do.
It's okay. Jose and I talk about band all day long.
We do, but it's just like sometimes you just have to get it out.
Yeah.
You know, we just have to get it out of our systems. And so we'll like decompress and we'll talk through something like, hey, can I just talk to you this? Or like we'll heat check each other. Like I'll ask him like, oh, this is my reaction for this. Am I being out of line? And he'll say no. You know, we'll just kind of catch the vibe from each other on certain situations. And then sometimes we do say, we'll be like, okay, one more thing, and then we'll like call us a quits. You know, we'll be like, okay, no more work talk. Like this is the last thing. Like 1 more minute or whatever. So we do try to like, you know, find moments where we're not talking about band, but unfortunately, yes, we do. I feel like we have to, because it's just it's so much, and if it's on our minds, and I think we're both the type of people that if we can talk through it before we go to bed, we'll sleep better. You
Yeah.
know, so if
It's
something's on
just
our
like a part
mind,
of who you are, too.
yeah, for sure. And I feel like I'm just gonna lay in bed thinking about it, so I might as well talk through it
Yeah.
and just get it out and put it out into the world and, you know, decompress that way.
So what I mean, how can I say it? Like how were things before the kids arrived in the balancing of both your like professional lives?
Um, I feel like it. I mean, it was obviously easier because
What children don't make your life easier?
I I feel like,
Shock, gasp.
you know, the kids. One benefit of the kids is that it's easier to clock out and come home. You know, because when we before the kids, it'd be like, oh, I'm going to stay up at the school and get some extra work done, and I didn't feel guilty doing that because like, oh, well, I'll just, you know, I'll see you tomorrow, or you'll be awake when I get home. But now the kids go to bed so early, so if we don't leave, then we don't get to see them that day. You know, sometimes there's some days where I would leave before they were awake, or James would leave, and then if we don't get home in time, then we didn't get to see them that whole day. And so it kind of forced us to leave work and come home and spend time with our family. So I feel like in that way it's been better. But it was nice because I wouldn't have to our schedule. We didn't have to worry about our like we've become very good at scheduling things. Because we would have, like I told you, Utah has 100 million marching band competitions on Saturdays. So I would have football games at Utah, and James would have a marching contest, and we would have almost every single weekend he would have a contest when I had a football game. And so we had to get good about planning our schedule so we had childcare. So that was one of the hardest things, is like you couldn't just be like, oh yeah, I'll plan this rehearsal. It's like, no, we have to check the schedule to see if James can be with the kids, or if I'm going to have the kids. I feel like that's definitely been one of the more challenging things. And then being so far from our family, you know, they say it takes a village to raise a child. And so we were in Salt Lake City with no family anywhere near us. And so that was really hard the last 2 years, um, because we just, anytime we wanted to do something where we needed childcare, we would have to pay extra for it. And that was an investment, and that was, you know, a sacrifice that we had to make. So I feel like that was definitely the biggest change from before kids to after kids. I feel like the job itself didn't get any harder. It was just more juggling, just another plate to juggle. You know, just two small sticky plates to juggle.
So sticky.
Yeah.
They eat a ton of fruit that costs so much money.
I don't understand why fruit costs so much.
Because you have to grow it, Jose.
Oh my goodness gracious. My people pick that fruit.
It's all delicate too. It's like the water that it takes, and
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they just half of it ends up on the floor and your dog eats it anyways.
I don't know
not
what
in
you
our
mean.
house. They inhale their fruit.
My
They don't
goodness.
let our dog get any. They'll be feeding her their green beans, but the fruit is like they're like shoveling it in basically.
Oh my goodness. Well, and like you are like in the job that you have currently, w- one of the cool things I think about where you teach at now is that you also have some fellow master teachers on staff with you, specifically the interim head director, Garth Gunderson. What has that been like with somebody who has been so entrenched in public education and is now the interim of the, of that band program?
It it has been so cool. I mean, he has like 30 years of teaching experience. He taught at Henderson and Bowie. I mean, just a master teacher, and he absolutely leads with that in all of his ensembles. Like even to conducting the wind ensemble, you know, he models good rehearsal practice because his the wind ensemble is future educators. You know, almost every single one of the students in that ensemble are a music ed, or a performance major, and they're still going to be teaching in some capacity. So he, you know, is absolutely, you know, great at his craft and has so much experience, so much organizational experience. he casually mentioned the other day that he's only ever been a head director his entire career. He's never been an assistant. I was like, what's that like? Tell me, what is it like, Garth? And so he was just like, I'm just used to being in charge. I'm like, what's that like, Garth? I don't know. So, no, but he's just an incredibly humble person for someone who has so much knowledge. He's incredibly organized. I mean, he is leading the ship. So he was the assistant director of bands last year, and now he's the interim director of bands because Phil Clements retired at the end of last year. And so he has taken over running the entire band department, and also with 2 new assistant directors. So they're the 3 of us have just been trying to get through this fall season with all 3 of us in brand new positions, just doing the best we can at this institution that is incredibly rooted in tradition. And so we're like, we don't want to rock the boat. Like, it's the tradition of excellence there is just so deep. And so we've just all been doing our best to just preserve that, and while also just learn as much as we can. But the students have been amazing because there's so much institutional memory there. So if we don't know something, we just ask the students, and they're like, "Oh, this," and they know, and it's just great. So they're helpful.
Well, that program is also well renowned for like producing great music educators, and so like that's kind of been like probably some like rocky ground for y'all, because y'all are like, oh, we cannot mess this up in this one year. So like, what are some things that you would recommend for anyone walking into a program that's had like some turnover like that, high school or collegiate?
Say figure out what has been working well at that place, because I'm not the type of person that like it supports change for the sake of change. So I'm not going to want to come in and just be like overhaul everything or just bring in all of my ideas from my experiences. I think preserving what has worked well is definitely important. I think talking to the students and say, what do you like? What do you feel like, is needed to continue, and just get their vibe. And then don't be afraid to introduce new ideas if you think it's going to benefit the program, because I feel like a lot of times traditions, like saying, oh, we always do this, but not having a reason for it, or not really having it be for any benefit, is not serving anyone. If you just do something just because you've done it, but it's not actually a good idea, maybe we should reevaluate this. So yeah.
I think that's one of my biggest pet peeves. It's like, we've always done this. Since when?
Yes.
Since when?
You say that all
Or
the time.
or they've really just done it twice, so it's a tradition. It's like, oh, we've always done like you're a freshman. What do you mean you've always done this? You're a freshman.
Sometimes they've only done it the one time.
That's right. We've always done this.
We've always done it.
Oh man, I tell you what, this drove me absolutely batty this year. So like our marching band uniforms are modular, and for football games
Oh
we
my
wear
gosh, I know
honeycomb,
exactly what you're about to say.
and
The
for
hip skirts.
away and for contests we always wear the our formals, and every single football game we would get asked, hip skirts?
Not by the
Yes.
kids.
No, but the people would ask the adults, and then the adults would send it out in the group text, and I'd be like, we always wear the hip skirts for football games,
With
and
the spirit.
yes, which is the spirit wear. And then we would get to the like contest in just the formal, and the same question would
Hip skirts?
hip skirts would
Question
show
mark?
up, and we don't wear hip skirts for contests.
I feel like that's a similar thing with the capes at Baylor. Like the capes used to always be the same way, except for homecoming.
Yes,
So it was like always, which way is the cape? Which way is it? Like, oh my gosh.
like, oh, like what do you mean hip skirts? Have we been wearing hip skirts for all the other games? Yes. So why would we not wear them this time? I don't know.
Hip skirts?
Like, what are we doing?
Well, half the time, some of them can't find their hip skirts.
Yeah, and it's just
some
like,
of them can't
oh
find their
my
shoes.
goodness, it just absolutely drives me bonkers. So, like, now that you're in the position that you are, What is some advice you would give to a high school student going into college?
I would say teach as much as possible. So be a leader. So be a leader in the marching band, be a section leader, just teach as much as possible. Find a school to tech at, even if it's volunteering, even if it's free. Just teach as much as you can, and just get as much hands-on experience as you can. That's what I would for sure say. Ask a lot of questions, take a lot of notes, watch people who are incredible at what they do. When you go to Team EA, don't just go to the clinics. I mean, the clinics are amazing, but go to the rehearsals and watch the all-state band rehearsals, because you're going to have some master teachers teaching those groups, and sit in on those rehearsals, have a score with you, and try to anticipate what they're going to say. Like if there's a section that they're working and you're following along in your score, try to figure out, what are you hearing? And then if you catch a problem and then the conductor says it, then that's obviously a good sign. You know, your ears are working in the right direction. But just know also, if you're not catching up on those things, that's okay. But the more you do that, the more you listen to groups with scores, the better your ears are going to be. And sometimes, just being in the room when groups are rehearsing and listening is the best way to train your ears, because when you're on the podium, you're thinking about what you're doing. Sometimes, especially young conductors, you're too busy thinking about your pattern or trying to remember that cue, and you're not really engaging your ears, or you are, but maybe like 20%, and 80% is going to your conducting. So try to go to as many rehearsals to where you don't have to conduct, and then train your ears that way. What I would say.
I think that something that, and I guess we did this in school by like going to observe and stuff like that, but I think sometimes what people forget is like when you're in college, you spend a lot of time listening to collegiate students play music or professional people play music. But it's also necessary to know, especially if you're going to be like an educator, what a good middle school band sounds like,
Yes.
what a good high school band sounds like, what a bad middle school band sounds like. You want to see somebody teach? Go sit in their sub non varsity middle school band, because you gotta know that, That's like it's reality.
You know
Not
what's
everyone's
you know
gonna.
what's something I wish they would have like kind of forced us to do, like in college.
No,
And I know the time restraints is always like a very interesting thing. I wish we were required to go to a marching contest in the fall to go observe,
you should be required to volunteer.
because like once again, like all you know is what you know, and like if you went to a 5A 6A, maybe you need to go to the small school
Mhm.
contest.
I can get behind that too.
Like if you went to small school, go to the large school contest.
Mhm.
Like go get your eyes on those programs.
You need to know what it looks like.
Yeah. And like that's sometimes like what you also need to do as like a public educator. I feel like sometimes you just need to like get out in somebody else's band hall. That is like for me, there are some 3A programs and 2A programs and 1A programs, because like Jesus is a master teacher.
Yes.
I mean, to get the things that he does out of a 1A program like that and then be like as proficient and like get eighth graders to do the things that he's doing,
Mhm.
like to go to those band halls and see what these like small school guys are doing and like really see what they're doing. And then at the same time, finding like a time to go to the 5A, 6A guys and see what they're doing
Mhm.
and like see the differences and like the similarities between the teaching styles.
Well, you also just forget too, like everyone who, well, I guess most people who are in a collegiate ensemble, like when you're being trained to be an educator, you went through some sort of process somewhere at some point in time. But a lot of times, like you forget like what sixth grade was like.
Yeah.
And it's good to just like kind of
And a nice little reset.
readjust your, yeah, like readjust your expectations, and also kind of know like
Well,
there's
and
like
humble
there,
humble yourself.
right, and there's like a spectrum of like proficiency, and but you kind of have to like know what that is, and that takes so long to learn. And so just like being aware that like, well, you can conduct, you can stand in front of an ensemble, you can do all the things, you can know what to say, but you need to make sure that your expectations fit like the group that you're in front of, because it's not going to be the same.
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to go out in front of my high school band right now and hand out the full Lincolnshire Posey.
Why not?
One, because I don't have enough double reeds.
I'm just kidding.
And then second of all, no.
You can borrow my junior high double reeds.
Oh. But I mean, that's just some of those things. So like, what has been the most difficult part about like teaching freshly, like first year, second year college kids?
Ooh. I don't. That's a good question.
They're gonna find this podcast. You know that, right?
I know.
And so, like, maybe they need to hear this.
The
Yeah, we're talking to you, Carvin.
I really think the hardest part for freshmen is they're still figuring out how to be in college. So it might sound silly, but like telling them like you need to go to sleep, like don't stay up all night, because they're away from home, and some of the kids are, naturally better at that than others, but some kids it's like, have you drank any water today? Like it's like, are you taking care of yourself?
This is my third monster of the day.
When's the last time you had a vegetable?
There's literally, oh my God, he's going to listen to this. There's literally a kid in my conducting class who drinks 2 Monsters and a cup of coffee before our 10 a.m. conducting class. And I'm like,
no,
that's what I'm like, drink water. Like, are you okay?
Oh,
like, are you okay?
Vibrating.
Let me feel your pulse. Are you okay?
Yeah. You seem to rush your conducting all the time. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Because half his makeup is made of caffeine.
The funny thing is he's so chill. Like, that's the funny thing is of course he's a saxophone player too. He's just so chill. And I'm like, I would be like my mind is alive if I had that much caffeine.
Are you that meme where it's like your brain is like the universe,
like tasting colors?
Yeah.
Yes, pretty much.
That's funny.
I think just encouraging them to still take care of themselves and not just stay up all night studying and cramming, like hydrating, sleeping, physically and mentally taking care of themselves, I think is one thing for sure. And like a lot of them realizing that a lot of them don't know how to practice because they were probably just first chair in their high school band. And then they get to college and they're in the middle of the bottom band and they're just not used to having to practice because maybe their concert band music, they worked on it for 6 months. Whereas here we only have 11 rehearsals and then we have the concert. It's just different. So kind of helping them, learn how to practice and learn how to not procrastinate and just learn how to be a college music student, which is difficult. It's such a difficult major.
Show up to your classes.
Yes, absolutely. Go to every class. My gosh, for sure.
I didn't go to every class.
We talked about that with somebody the other day. Like when you don't go to class, you are paying to miss class.
Yeah.
Like you're paying money to miss class, even if you're on scholarship.
Baylor had that rule that you had to attend 75%, right? Or you failed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love that. I wish that was at every institution.
I guess I didn't realize that it wasn't, but It's not.
It's not. No.
Yeah.
No, we got the best of it. I know people who failed chapel.
Yeah, like I did too. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But I mean, I saved all my skips to the end and just didn't go for the test.
Just go listen to Chapel Ryan and then sleep and then
Does he still exist?
Ryan still there? Bert Burleson retired.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Does Chapel Ryan still exist?
That's a good question.
Can we get somebody mail in, please?
We need a.
Do we know any Baylor students?
I mean, I can ask Dr. Wilson.
Need a freshman. How would he know? He would say,
"Hey, Dr. Wilson just showed up to chapel every now and then."
I just put in Chapel Ryan, and it auto suggested to finish it with Baylor. So
that's iconic.
So, like, what are some of the things that you would tell like the students who are at the tail end of their collegiate careers?
I I would say the end is near. Junior year is really hard. I have all of our juniors right now are so stressed because you get into those upper level classes. It really everything is weighing in on you. A lot of those upper level students are in those leadership roles, so they're doing everything and they have a lot of responsibility. But just reminding them to still find the joy in what they do, like play their, find your instrument and just play along to music that you like. Doesn't have to be anything practicing. Just go back to your instrument and do something that you love for funsies, practice an etude that you are really good at, you don't have to work at, but you sound good on. So just reminding them to keep the spark and the joy alive, and that it will be worth it. And this too shall pass. To lean on each other, your friends that are going through the same thing, the little your studio friends and your cohorts that you started with freshman year. Misery loves company, I guess. So
I think that's something that even like I, as a teacher, I forget. Like, I like this for some reason, even on, hard days. Like, I like this for some reason. I don't play an instrument very much for fun, but it's like sometimes that's just really good for your brain and your heart, I guess.
I like playing tuba.
I know you do, but you play tuba every day and you enjoy teaching your tuba class.
I know.
I don't play a percussion instrument every day, but I like doing it. I just never.
So like even just like putting on music you like,
Yeah,
and just jamming along to it and just improving over it. Like it doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't even have to make sense. Just do something and engage in your instrument that's in a low pressure way.
I love all those TikToks of people playing like their TMEA etudes over like Milkshake and Katy Perry.
Yes.
I love those videos.
But that's how I imagine those came to be.
Yes.
Is that people just like putting on music and then just having fun and like, you know what, this works. Like, why not? That's brilliant.
Yes, I love that.
That's how I used to practice long tone. Not to,
Well, that's a fun way to practice long tones.
But I used to the way I would used to do it, I would, because I was at that age where SpongeBob was like kind of new.
Oh my gosh.
And so I used to sit in front of my TV and play long tones and find the chordal progression on my tuba.
Was this in like middle school or in college?
This was like high school.
Okay.
Like junior high school. I would sit there in front and then play long tones, and I would find the chords.
That's smart.
And I would just work on long tones that way.
Yeah. I use the drum loops on YouTube. You can find like a disco drum loop or a funk drum loop and just like practice play your scales to it. Cause like as a flute player, that's like scales is your life. So, and it would just one can only play to a met for so long. So just, the drum loops, they have any tempo you can think of. And I would do that in my middle school bands too, when we'd be playing scales and stuff like that. I'd just put the drum loops on and we'd play along to it. I mean, it's the same thing like doing marching fundamentals to a fun song. Yeah. Like we don't need to march to a met. Like when do we march to mets in our shows? We march to music, so why not put on music when you're doing your fundamentals?
Yeah.
Like you're not.
I use the drum beats app for my beginner class. Like I don't even know that they know what an actual metronome sounds like.
I've switched it up this year. I've focused a little bit more on the met. I'm about to switch out of it.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that you did that.
Yeah, I'm about to switch out of it though.
Yeah. I just have always used the drum beats too. And it forces them to find where the beat is. Yeah. And sometimes if I pick something that's a little bit confusing, I have to show them like where it is. And it's like, well, this is why, Yeah.
Well, like for me, I do all that kind of stuff just because it's a little bit different than what I have been, because I've been in this like era where I'm like, I'm going to try something different than what I have been in the past.
Change for the sake of change, huh?
Yeah. Well, like I am always on the mindset of like, how can I improve the things that I'm weak at?
Sure.
Which is like a great thing, but also very exhausting.
Example, playing the flute.
Yeah. I'm bad at the flute. Oh my goodness. But like doing some of those types of things and just like, hey, what? Okay, my kids are not great at tapping their foot, and I would always start them with the drum beat. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why are they having so many issues? So this year I started them off with a metronome and just get them a little bit more solid. Yeah. They're getting better at it. So therefore, like here pretty soon, I'm going to start switching over to the drum beats and like they have an understanding of what their foot's supposed to be doing. So, hey. So like Stephanie, what are some of your other responsibilities?
At my current position?
Yes, ma'am.
So I do all the athletic band stuff. So marching band, pep band, and then I also conduct the symphonic band, and I teach conducting 1. And then I am also the graduate conducting instructor, because I'm the only person currently on the band faculty with a doctorate. So I guess I'm only the only person allowed to teach graduate students. So I teach the graduate conducting lessons, and in the spring I'll be doing the graduate wind literature class, and then doing all of the recital rep or preparations. We have one conducting master student right now. His name is Mr. Christian Guillen, and he's awesome, great educator himself. And so I'm doing his lessons, and then we'll do his recital prep, and then he has all of his comps and everything in the spring. So yeah.
So you do all the athletic bands. So like, are you in charge of the basketball band?
Yes.
So how many of the basketball games do you have to go to?
So we are going to 19 games this year.
That's a lot of games.
That's a lot of games.
Do y'all go to any volleyball games?
We do not, no. And that's different. So you say 19 is a lot, but I'm like, oh, this is going to be nice, because at Utah, we did volleyball, we did men's basketball, we did women's basketball, and we did gymnastics. So so it's actually like, I'm like, oh, this is so chill, only 19 games. So yeah, we didn't do any volleyball games, and then our first game I think is coming up in December. There have been a couple of non-conference games that the basketball teams have already started, but a lot of them are during classes. Like one was at 10:30 a.m. I don't know whose idea was that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so we were unfortunately unable to go to that one, but so we'll be starting basketball up soon, and it's cool. It's called Pride of the Court, is the name of the pep band here. So, but yes, I'm leading that, and I did that at Utah as well, and did all the NCAA tournaments, and um, the Pac-12 and Big 12 tournaments. So those were so fun. And then, yeah.
So how has, and we touched on this a little bit earlier, like how has becoming a mom like changed your like perspective to the profession and your approach?
Oh my God, it changed everything. The best way I can describe it is the world got smaller when they were born, because like the things that I used to think were big things just weren't as significant, and I would obsess over some things, and I was like, this is gonna ruin everything or ruin my life if I don't have this. And I'm just like, it just doesn't seem as critical, as much as I love my job. At the end of the day, it's just my job. It's just band. Like, it's gonna be okay, if we miss this or that, or don't have the best rep, or don't hit that transition with the tempo just right, so that's definitely, it's just changed in that perspective. It's just making the world is just so much smaller with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with like James. Like it changes everything. Like, and I think that's something a lot of people sometimes for like don't fully realize until like you have kids, is that your sympathy and your interactions with students, that changes a whole lot as well. Like I became a big old softy in a lot of ways.
You really did.
Yeah.
Totally softened up.
Well, and just the balancing of everything, because, and Alexa, I'm sure you know this, but like the mom guilt, oh my God, that's something that I'm still not used to, because when I'm at home with my kids, I'm like missing, or I'm missing something at work, or I'm not doing as much as I can, or score studying as much. And then when I'm at work for a basketball game or a football game, I feel guilty that I'm missing bedtime, I'm missing bath time, and those sacred, nighttime bedtime stories. And it's just like you constantly are feeling like you're failing at one or the other. Mm-hmm. And so James and I have tried to, we've come up with a saying the last few years that we keep saying to each other, is we say, be where your feet are. And so like if either of us are struggling to like be in the moment, like when we're at home, to try to just be devoted to them and each other. And then when we're at work, try to just be devoted when we're at work, and just really try to focus our energy where we can, because the truth is we can't do it all. You know, we're just trying our best to be everything for our students and everything for our kids, you know, and each other. But the mom guilt is real. It's, yeah.
And I felt that a lot when like I've had conversations with Jose about this too before, where it's like if you're trying to do both things at once, you're doing neither thing well.
100%.
And that doesn't feel good, especially when it's like the parenting part of it, right? Like I
Yeah.
can recover from a bad band day.
Yeah, but you don't want to screw up your kid.
I don't want to give my kid trauma, you know?
Yes.
So it's like you do neither thing well when you're trying to do both at the same time.
Yeah. Like
So
I
it's like,
picture them sitting on a couch in therapy one day. It's like, so my mom was a band director.
so my mom was at a basketball game, and yeah.
And like I feel that guilt in a different way, just because like I am the fine arts coordinator and the head director of a program that's trying to be competitive, and so therefore like our twins take a backseat to that a lot, which is like hard for me to like say and like really kind of come face to face with that. And like so like in the mornings, that's when I get to see the twins the most, honestly.
We have more than 2 children.
Yeah, I know, but like right now Joel is like eating and
Joel is also
peeing
like
and pooping. That's like, and now he's walking. But like the twins have developed these like personalities.
Joel is also the like a mama's baby.
Yes.
He's walking? Excuse me?
Yeah, he walks.
No
He's a
way.
little stumbly, but he walks.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
I'll send you a video.
So
Yes, please do.
but like I feel guilty like leaving the kids in the morning because they always want to like, they want more hugs. They want more of like, dad, throw me on the bed, like throw me, and like stuff like that. And I'm having to like go, like I have to go to work, guys. I'm
Yeah.
going to be late. And like my 2 kids are depending on me. And then I also have a room full of like 50 to 100 other kids depending on me, and it's like that's a hard thing for me to like come to terms with and like to really say out loud, because like I love both sets of kids, just one happens to be my like flesh and blood. And like my high school kids and my band kids are gonna leave me eventually. Hopefully these children will never leave me.
Oh, that's setting yourself up.
Yeah. And so, I mean, they're gonna leave this house eventually, but like that is like a guilt I carry with me all the time, because like, well, I mean, James probably deals with this as well. And you know, because of the dynamic you two have and like the demand of your job, versus like the way our relationship is, because like Alexa works with me, that
I
like
do?
yes, that like I stay up at the band hall a lot later than Alexa, and so therefore like I won't
Most
see
days.
I won't see Joel for days on end because he goes to bed at 5:30. So I miss those opportunities. And so, you know, there's a lot of that I feel really bad about, because I won't see him. Like we're, you know, tomorrow hopefully I'll get to see him and do some stuff, but I feel guilty for leaving the band hall and leaving my assistants there until like 5:30, and I'm like, hey guys, it's 4:30, I want to dip because I want to see my kid. And it's just like I feel guilty for doing that, but at the same time I also feel guilty if I don't go home because I won't see my son.
Yeah. That's also how you put a roof over his head. So.
Yeah. And so there's just this it's an awful balance. And like I like, me personally, I always feel like I'm kind of in the wrong. And like I'm a workaholic. Like I love to work. That's like the thing I do. And like Alexa can tell anybody this, like I don't stop. But when the moment where I finally do, it's like getting me back out of that stop motion. Like it is hard.
Yeah.
Like during the summer when I like crash and I'm like, I'm not doing anything. It's like I do nothing.
Which is why we need to pay someone to mow our yard.
I'm going to do it on Saturday.
The little things. Yeah.
I ain't going to do it. Ugh. Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, I haven't figured out how to not traumatize our kids.
I
Sorry,
know.
we just talked
Well,
about the hard
and
stuff.
then it's like it's having to put dinner on the table still too, and then you're like you
Yeah.
have to make nutritious foods, and then you're like feeling guilty because they've had pizza twice this week, and it's like
Uncrustables
And then
are
they're
very
eating a
popular in this house.
popsicle and the rest of the Halloween candy.
yeah, it's just the unending like oh, I'm a bad mom for this, but I'm doing the best that I can.
Yes.
So moving on to maybe a lighter subject, since we like trauma dumped on that. Like, what makes East Texas A&M a special place?
I've never been there.
The campus is beautiful. You should come.
So we should come, Jose. We should come.
Honestly, it would be really cool to host y'all for like a music ed forum. I bet we could have like a Q&A with you guys, and the kids would love that.
We should come.
If you're interested, seriously, I'll make it happen. That would be
I
really
mean,
Tell us
we'll
the time
go.
and a
I
place,
mean,
and we'll be
we'll
there.
go there.
I think our students would love that. So,
We'll
Ooh,
come.
ooh,
We'll
can
be
I
there.
embarrass Carvin in front of all his friends? Does he have friends?
Carvin, I make Carvin embarrassed as much as I can, and I call him out on the mic in front of the whole band. I'm like, Carvin, you good? Just like he's like, yeah.
Carvin's kind of used to like Carvin's dad
Oh, we love Carvin's dad.
at marching contests used to yell like Carvin like over the like you can hear it in the Alamo Dome.
Yeah, let's go, Carvin.
So
Aww.
he's
He's
used to
used to
that.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
also, if you're
good
gonna be
people.
base 5, you're gonna get some attention. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, why are you on base 5?
Playing time.
But what makes East Texas A&M unique is, I think I touched on this a little bit, but the students are really so proud of the legacy of that program, and they are so dedicated to preserving it. And they will do anything if you ask them to help. They will. We will have a rally, and you will have 5 people in your office. Like, what can we do? Like, all I have to do is like, I need help with this, and it is literally like a text chain, and there's people that just show up. It's incredible. They're so willing to help, and they care so much about the program, and they care so much about what they do, and they care so much about getting better. And they'll constantly come up like after rehearsal and just be like, what did you think about this? How was my solo on this? And they want feedback on it. And it's just, I've never experienced that anywhere else. And they just care so much about being excellent in every aspect of what they do, whether it's conducting class or symphonic band or marching band. They genuinely are just such good kids, and they care so much about preserving the legacy that is East Texas A&M. And it is very much a music ed focused program. I think that's it's very undergrad focused. It's very music ed focused. And so they're constantly asking questions and wanting to get better. Like, what would you do for this? What would, and they have the service organizations like the Kappa Kappa Psi and Tau Beta Sigma. They have leadership seminars that are just for their once a week for their members. And I spoke at one last Thursday, and they're just leadership seminars that they have guest lecturers for, and they just put them on for the chapters, and they just show up and they learn from each other and they learn from the other faculty, and it's just really cool. It's just a really special place.
What do you think was the catalyst for that type of culture?
I have no idea. I don't know if I've really figured out. I know that since starting there, I've just heard that the legend that is Jim Keen and changing that and being someone who really put that band program on the map. So maybe the Jim Keen, Phil Clements, when he got there, because he was there for 16. I don't know if that's the right number ish years. But I know that it's just been decades of iconic music ed and band, like Band City, man.
Well, like we talked to Sherry Poteet,
that is exactly what
and
I was about to say.
she said that she did some master's work there,
Yeah.
and the names that she dropped.
I wish I could remember. I think it was
Fred J. Allen
Fred
was
J.
in
Allen, Melody Ann.
Yeah. Like Fred J. Allen, her, and like some other people. I'm just like, excuse me, that was
there was more too. I just can't remember.
Was it Cindy Lansford as well?
Know.
It was like ridiculous.
I know. And see, I'm not a names person, so I have heard these names, and we actually during our marching band week, so our summer band camp is called Pride Week because it's the Pride marching band, and we had an alumnus come back and who was in the band in the 70s, and he held up this picture of the band from the 70s on like a pet band trip. And what was crazy is he was just pointing out the people and like the iconic band directors across the world. A lot of them are like professors at universities, and there's players in the Dallas Symphony, and there's just the people in this marching band that have just gone on to just be incredible educators from this one photo from this pet band trip. It was just crazy to see that. But I know he's told me all the names. But again, I'm not a names person. I never forget a face, but I just, I'm one of those people that when I meet you and you tell me your name, I instantly forget it. Because I just don't, that's just not the way my brain works. So I have been told all of the legendary names that have come through this program, but yeah, I unfortunately cannot recall them.
It happens. But like, I mean, Sherry, like, and like we've talked about her numerous times on the podcast. Like, we just interviewed
because we love Sherry.
Yeah, we love her. But like, she is like also she helps SFA with their student teachers, and
she's
so
a supervisor.
Yeah, she's a supervisor, and like she taught. She kind of taught Shaka Hawkins, who just won. We just interviewed him for the pod, and he just won military marching contest.
And she's taught many legends.
Like she's ridiculous. She's great.
She is her.
Yep. But we've always heard so many wonderful things about it. Like John Shriver is an alumnus.
That's also what I was about to say.
He's Cameron Yo, but like he's a fantastic music educator. Yeah. Like we've had him on the podcast, and like what he did over at Valley Mills, what he's doing over at Cameron Yo, like he's fantastic educator. And so like it's the same thing. Like Tarleton has put out some master educators, because like Keith and Brian were both from Tarleton. Was Bobby from Tarleton? Bobby Jurgen?
Yes.
Yep. Like there have just been some fantastic like educators that have come out of like the quote unquote not the big universities, and it's just like the value that you have to put on some of the smaller universities and the experiences they give students is like so important.
Isn't Tarleton D1 now?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, that's just my opinion, but what do I know?
Not much.
Yeah.
Not much. So, like, Stephanie, who are some people who have helped you along the way? Mentors, people that have really molded you into the educator that you are.
Well, at the top of that list is probably Eric Wilson. Just a mentor from undergrad through master's and beyond. Just never fails to reach out and ask how things are going, and just be genuine and caring.
Oh.
What?
He reaches out. Oh.
Yeah.
You don't emailed him.
Oh. You gotta text him.
We've learned that. It was funny though, because
this is a good story.
It was.
We went to the Utah
came to a
game.
head in the funniest way, because we went to the Baylor Utah game on Saturday, and we were standing at the Robert Griffin statue, waiting on Corbin, and I didn't realize that Bugwub hadn't marched over yet. So here comes Bugwub over the bridge.
And Broom Pride.
They don't do that anymore. They just cadence, and that's also a sore spot.
In third quarter,
they played at the beginning of the second half.
There you go.
So
I'm sure.
I know. I was too.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So we're standing there, and here comes Bugwub, and in front of Bugwub are all three directors, and we're standing there, and I see Dr. Odajima see me and Jose standing there, and he nudges Dr. Wilson, and Dr. Wilson looks at us. Here he comes, and we're like, "Oh, hi," and he was like, "I promise I'll respond to your email."
No, knowing him, he probably feels so bad.
It's funny. I gave him a hard time. So
Jose texted him after
we
that.
had a whole entire text exchange. Let me see.
He probably genuinely felt so bad about it.
Sure, he did.
Okay.
It was just so funny.
The fact that he probably said something to Dr. O and was like, "Oh, I really need to respond to that email." But like that's so funny.
Okay.
And we just happened to be standing there. We were just waiting on Corbin to come so we could like all go in together because Jose had the tickets on his phone. And here comes the band.
So like I sent him some text messages after that, which is like funny. But did you see the shirtless thing at the Baylor football game?
I did, yes.
Okay, so I took a picture from the distance and I sent it to him. And I go, "You heading up?" And he goes, "What do you mean? I started it."
Period. What a guy. He's so great.
Text him, Jose.
Okay, I will. I gotta send him some dates.
Yeah.
So Dr. Wilson.
Yes, Dr. Odajima. All of my mentors at Baylor were fantastic. Rick Espinosa is in there as well. Don't forget about him. Caroline Hand, she was my GTA for conducting class when I was at an undergrad at Baylor. So she was someone that, at the time was a great mentor for me. And when I was thinking about going to grad school, because I just didn't have a lot of female conductors to look up to. So having her as my conducting TA was just really influential at the time. And she's amazing. Now she's at OU doing great things. She's Dr. Hand now.
Can you get her to find a new stand tune for that marching band?
I'm sure that's not up to her.
That can't be.
I'm sure she wants to keep her job. I don't know. It is quite literally the worst song ever written, but
and here we are, because probably about every other podcast I say something about that.
It's at this point it's just as vital as the Dairy Queen question. It's
exactly
the worst song ever written. Mm-hmm. The answer is
and why is it Boomer Sooner?
And how is it Boomer Sooner? The how. But yes, Caroline Hand, she's amazing. All of my professors at FSU, Patrick Dunnigan, David Plack, Richard Clary, they're all just incredible humans, incredible educators in themselves, just wonderful people. They've continued to be great resources for me even after I've left. Keith Zolke, can't forget to mention him. I know I've mentioned Garth Gunderson since I've been at ETMU, and then honestly, my whole cohort of grad students while I was at FSU were incredibly resourceful and great mentors, because there were 12 of us. There were between masters and doctoral students, there were 12 band conducting grad students at FSU. And to be accepted into that degree, you have to have a minimum of 3 years of teaching experience for master's or doctorate. So all of us had teaching experience, and from California to Texas to Missouri to North Carolina, Georgia, Florida. So whenever we would have an issue or a question, we would talk about it amongst ourselves first before we go to the professors, because we wanted to seem like we already knew the answer. So they were just incredible resources, and I learned so much from them, and I'm still learning. Like, one of my closest friends is Brandon Meeks, who is the director of athletic bands at Kennesaw State, just outside of Atlanta, Georgia, and he is an incredible educator. He taught in North Carolina, and but now he's doing great things at Kennesaw. But I still call him, and I was like, "Hey, what do you think about this? What would you do for this? Or help me with this. I have a question for this." I called him a few weeks ago about a pieware question because pieware was being dumb, and he was like, "Oh, you got to do this." And I'm like, "Thanks, Brandon." I was like, I knew exactly who to call for this. So, yeah, all of those colleagues and in my doctorate were great. And then, of course, my parents and my family, just anybody who has shown up for me and been there. James, I quite literally could not have done any of the things that I've done. Couldn't have survived grad school or the last few years of teaching without him as a partner. You too. I look up to you too.
We didn't say this. Stephanie was my grad conducting class.
You know,
Yay. I took conducting lessons with Stephanie.
You sure did, and I don't think I messed you up too bad.
I messed myself up enough, but yeah.
That's funny. I think I forget about that sometimes.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
What?
It was like over 10 years ago.
So, I mean, some of my
was.
Well, and like people might not know this, but Stephanie was in our wedding, and
Stephanie's first date with James was our wedding.
True story. True story. That was our first date. Was their wedding. True story.
And what a first date to have.
I know.
That's a big commitment on Jimbo's part. Our first date's a wedding. Ooh. He knew what he was doing. Knew. And then
we both knew.
And we were both in their wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So but like some of my favorite memories with Stephanie is that we would go on like McLean Stadium walks.
Yeah, those are fun. That's what I miss about living like near civilization is that.
We would just walk around the stadium and walk over that bridge because it was beautiful at night. Mm-hmm. And because that's the only time you can go because it's the only time it gets below 100 degrees. So
that's true. Yep. I forget you're from Utah now.
Were you with us that one time we walked near the Taft
Grant
statue?
Taft. And I don't think she was with us. But were you there?
I think so.
The princess statues where they had like Disney princess figurines at the base of Grant Taft.
Maybe not. I feel like there's always something at that statue though.
I don't know why, but that feels like a story that like I'm not even sure if I saw it correctly, even though I know I was there.
I don't know if we're allowed to know what's going on.
Yeah, just don't.
That's an inner circle thing. That's
yeah. But there was just like an assortment of Disney princesses at the base of Grant Taft's statue. I don't know.
An assortment.
But would we walk there from y'all's apartment?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and walk around the stadium and then walk back. Yeah, that was fun.
And sometimes walk up by the Farrell Center, like the back way, like
by the river and by the baseball. Yeah.
Yep. Do you remember the Baylor Beaver? Because we were talking to somebody else about that the other day, and they had no idea what we were talking about.
That's the baseball team. Would
exactly.
Have
okay.
The Feed the Beaver shirts because if they hit a home run. That's obviously you can't say that anymore. But if they would hit a home run, it would go in the river, and so the baseball. I'm sure it was horrible for the environment, but because like the idea of a beaver eating a baseball is ridiculous.
You got to eat something.
See, people do remember the beaver.
I mean, Stephanie, do you have a mistake that you've made that's made you a better educator?
I feel like every mistake I make makes me a better educator, and I feel like that's such a cliche thing to say, but so true. There was one thing that I did that early on taught me the concept of trust but verify. And that was my first year teaching at Clifton. I had to change one of my pieces
I remember this.
2 weeks before UIL because I found out that they had done the piece the previous year at Clifton for the 7th grade band. And I didn't know that because one, I wasn't there. But two, the other directors, I didn't tell me. And I remember showing them my program and I was like, these are the pieces I want to play. And they were like, those are great pieces. Yeah. I don't think they sounded like that, but yeah. And so I trusted them in that I was like, okay, I'm going to play these pieces. And then found out that, I couldn't do one of my pieces because the 7th grade band at Clifton had done it the year before. And again, that's part of that is totally on me. Like I guess I didn't know to ask, hey, tell me what was played last year. So that year was terrifying because I had to pass out a brand new piece, like less than 2 weeks before UIL and learn it with my 7th grade band, my first year as a teacher. So that was terrifying. But that was definitely a good mistake for me to learn because, again, trust, but verify. So it's like,
What piece did you have to learn? Do you remember?
I have no idea.
Dance Celebration.
I'm sure if I heard it, I'd be like, that's it.
Was it Wild Wind Overture?
That sounds right.
Are you going to conduct are you going to involve any of this stuff in your band Winlit course?
The middle school rep?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, please do.
No. No, I will be sticking to the
big wigs.
Have you ever seen I think it's Randall Sandridge that posts like you
There
can't
is
have Lincolnshire Posey without hot cross buns.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Jose's playing Lincolnshire Posey, so
No, I'm not.
and
Definitely not.
hot, honestly, and do it with hot cross buns. Why not?
Both at the same
Like
time.
a fanfare, like a hot cross buns fanfare.
Ooh, you know,
Somebody
a
should write
marching
that.
show concept in development, and you start with hot cross buns.
Ooh.
In development
Yeah, that's the name of the show.
with
in
bad
development.
tone.
Like
Then it's
hot cross
just
buns.
GE.
Yeah, hot cross buns, and you end with Lincolnshire Posey.
Wow.
Like Lost Lady Found, like
Ooh.
antiphonal chimes and yeah, okay.
That'd be very interesting.
All right. Free idea.
Free idea.
Yeah.
Who's gonna
I know all you program coordinators are out there listening. There's a school.
What's gonna happen is it's gonna be like in Bring It On when Sparky Pilastri like had the same routine that he fed to like all those schools. It's gonna be like all these band yap podcast listeners are gonna piddle the same show to everybody, and it's gonna
the hot cross bun
show. The judges are gonna be like, "This is another hot cross bun show. What's going on?"
It's just like last year when we went to the Temple Festival and everything that we played was Stanridge.
Yeah, that was halfway intentional though, and no one cared. It was a festival. It wasn't like we were going to UIL.
But somebody said something to me afterwards.
Wasn't it Bob?
It was either Bob or Brent.
Yeah, like a full Sandridge program. It's just like we're really just honoring Randall today.
Oh, that's too good. That's too good.
I had it. That was a good program though. It wasn't all Randall Sandridge, just most of it.
Yeah, most of it.
I played frogs, and I played. What was the second one that I played?
I don't remember.
But I played Lightning Field too, and that's Maggie. So
yeah,
complain about it.
What's some advice you would give a young band director?
A young band, like a first year or something.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be the same, maybe similar advice to what I would give a student is just go to as many rehearsals as you can. Have people come listen to your band and listen to them when they give you feedback. Record yourself. Oh my gosh. Record yourself and watch your rehearsals back, because I feel like we go through this development phase where we are recording ourselves all the time in college, and then we never record ourselves and watch ourselves teach again. So I think if you record yourself and you're watching those back and trying to learn from and look at what you're doing, like for example, see how much time you spend talking versus how much time you spend playing. That can be very humbling. Get a mentor. I know that's been said before, but that I cannot echo that enough. Take very meticulous notes. I'm a Google Docs person, so if I'm like my first year of teaching, I was constantly keeping a log of all the stuff that I was like, oh, I would learn this and need to remember to do this next time. If there was something that would catch me off guard, I would write it down so that it wouldn't continuously catch me off guard. Because there's all those things that inevitably as a first year teacher, you're going to say, you don't know what you don't know. But if when you do those same mistakes again, okay, you knew, you just chose not to remember or not to write it down. So keep some sort of log. That's why I like Google Docs, because you can access it and save it anywhere. You don't have to hunt down that piece of paper that you jotted down at TMEA that one time. And yeah, just listen to people that inspire you. If there's a conductor that you like, just, I don't know, copy them.
Steal all
the information. Like
100%. Like the whole idea that we can't like copy people that we admire. is crazy. Like, that's how you learned how to talk, is you copied people. It's like, why can't we do that as educators? Just take that thing that they said that you liked and just do it. That's not plagiarism. That's just they probably took it from someone else. you know.
It's just being a productive thief.
Yes.
I was talking to Corbin about this the other day because you said record yourself, and this made me think about it. Because Corbin and I like didn't go to Baylor together, but we didn't go that far apart either.
Mm.
And we were talking about conducting class and like recording yourself in conducting class. And I said something about like SD cards. Do you remember like the SD card?
Everybody had to buy the specific SD card that fit the
Yeah,
specific camera that the conducting studio owned because Dr. Wolf
exactly.
didn't want to get new cameras.
And so I said something about that to Corbin, and he was like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "The SD cards for the camera." He was like, "We didn't do that." I was like, "Oh my god."
They use their phones.
Yeah, that was like an okay boomer moment. I don't know what they used, but they didn't use SD cards.
Oh, sad day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was like part of the syllabus, and if you didn't do it, you were like
Go buy an SD card. Yeah.
you were you I think you had to have 2 of them because you had to switch them out. But if you did not take care of your SD card business, you were
And then
out.
if you didn't clear off your storage too, because like you had to like empty it after so many
Mhm.
tests.
You were
Full.
down the drain. Like, you were never recovering from that.
Yeah, that's wild.
Those were
Never
fun
financially
times.
recovering from this.
Yeah, never financially recover.
Can we
Yeah.
talk about how the Tiger King thing really took over the world there for a hot second?
I love Tiger King. What did I say to you the other day about was it like buying groceries or something like that?
I think so.
It's like I'm never gonna financially recover from this.
Yes.
I love Tiger King.
What's something you wish you knew before you got into the profession?
That it's okay to make mistakes. You just have to, because you have to make something exist first before you can make it better. And for the longest time, I always thought that I would always wait until I thought I could do something perfectly before I would do it because I didn't want to do it wrong. But that's not how music education works. Like, you have to just do it and let it be wrong, and so that it can just put it out there to the world and then make it better. But it's never going to get better if you don't ever put it out there. So I wish I had taken more risks like that early on and just put myself out there more. But I was, too much of a perfectionism at the time. So, but now I'm just like, I don't care if I fail. What a great opportunity to learn.
I try to teach that to my junior high kids. They hate me for it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take the risk. You got to take the risk. Do you have a favorite memory as a band director or as a student?
I think my favorite memory, I have a couple because I feel like I have one at each place that I've been. I don't know if I have an overall like goat one. I really loved when Clifton won their silver medal at state. That was a great moment. Just the kids just being absolutely electric when they announced our name for the silver medal, and just the tears in their eyes, and just just that moment of seeing how happy they were. That was great. And then going to the Rose Bowl twice was really cool. um, Doing that the first time you do the turn in the parade, the famous turn, and then you see all those people and all the cameras, and then you feel your phone buzzing up because you're on TV. So people are like texting you pictures of you on TV, and I'm like, I know, I'm right here. So that was really cool. And Utah got to go to the Rose Bowl twice in 2022 and 2023, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, and then so far at East Texas, it's been we just performed just over a week ago at the 5A State Marching Band Championships. We were the exhibition group, and the coolest thing was watching the audience when we have a trombone feature where the trombones come to the front and they play They Not Like Us, and there's that we dimmed the lights in the Alamo Dome, and then the students had light up wristbands, and the band was doing a dance, like they had a choreographed dance while the trombones were playing They Not Like Us, and then it had some Kendrick Lamar like audio sampled in there, and it was just so cool. And so I was like watching the audience react to that, and that was the neatest thing. And just seeing like kids like scramble to get their phones out to like, oh my god, I gotta record this. That was a really cool moment. So that was probably that's up there. So super proud of them for that.
So Stephanie, when you aren't banding, what do you do to unwind?
So this answer was different until I moved. It used to be skiing. So I know, and
you don't ski in Commerce?
What?
Not a lot, believe it or not. So
hitting the
yeah.
slopes.
So we used to have season ski passes, and that was James and I's like we would go as much as we could. Our first year in Utah, we say BT instead of BC, so it's BT before twins. So before we had the kids, our first year, there he is.
That just landed for me.
Or I guess you can say BC still before children. It would still work. So our first year in Utah, we skied 38 days together, which is crazy because some people like ski like 2 or 3 days a year. We skied 38 our first year in Utah, and definitely got our money's worth out of our season pass that year. And so yeah, we really love to ski or anything outdoors. Honestly, there's so many national parks there, but now honestly we've been struggling a little bit to find something to unwind because we don't really have any like parks near us, no walking trails.
You need to buy a hot tub.
We should get a hot tub. That's a great idea.
That is a good idea.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So yeah, maybe I'll add hot tub time to my my future list. But honestly, we love to just we have a really good front porch right now that faces the sunset, and so sitting on that front porch with a glass of wine after the kids go to bed, that's a good moment. We love to watch movies. We love to go out to eat as when we can when we have childcare. But yeah, I don't know. We love to cook together. So that's definitely something that we like to do, especially on the weekends when we have time and we're both home. So yeah, my answer's changed a little bit from what it would be. I guess I need new hobbies that are not mountain-based hobbies.
Mountain-based.
So yeah,
it's in development.
it's yes. Check back in.
So what's something you wish you could bring back, like nostalgia, just anything like that?
I honestly, I know this might not fit the question because they're still around, but they're just not as big as they were. Like CDs. Like,
when was the last time you bought a CD?
Exactly. And like having the CD and having the cover art and having to like open it up and flip through. And that was when you had to look in the CD to like learn what the lyrics are. You know what I mean? Because you couldn't Google them. And then when you had like a friend in your car, you had your CD book and you'd be like, pick us out a CD to listen to. And your friend would like flip through your pages of CDs. And I don't know, it was just nice to have something tangible and something like that you own the music, you bought the music and the artwork was cool. And then you could kind of show off your collection kind of thing. Cause now it's like, oh, here's my Spotify Wrapped. Like that's like the, it's not the same thing anymore. It's just not, it just doesn't hit the same way as like showing off your CD collection. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what we were trying to help some of our Spanish teachers earlier with their like Christmas like dance thing. And we were trying to help them with their audio tracks. And she was like, can we just burn a CD? And I was like, yeah, it would make this easier.
Like a good old fashioned boom box.
And you just like, yes.
That'd be great. I miss those moments.
Did you have a CD book? You didn't have
Oh, no, I did.
Okay.
I had a CD book, but I had like a boom box in my room.
Or the cool ones, I had one on my visor.
Yeah, my sister had one of those.
I had the big one with all of them, and then I had my favorites in the visor so that they were just right there. So when you got in the car, you flipped it down, you picked it could only hold like 5 or 6, but
My sister had one of those. I didn't have one of those. I had a book.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't band, what would it have been?
Back in the day, before I got into band, I was a gymnast. And even before I got hurt and had to stop gymnastics, I always thought I was going to be a coach. Because I always saw myself teaching in some capacity. Like even when I was a little kid, I thought I'm going to grow up, I'm going to go to the Olympics for gymnastics is what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to be a coach because I loved my coaches and I was so inspired by them. So I feel like had I not ruptured my L5 disc when I was 12 years old, I would have stayed in gymnastics and probably been a gymnastics coach. But something less traumatic based, I think I probably would have been a chef. I think culinary school would be so exciting. And I love watching cooking shows. And I just love the idea of, I don't know, the consistency of that and the creativity of that. And I feel like working at a doing that would be super fun. That's not really teaching based, but it's something that another hobby that I love.
So, do you have with the very little time that you have, do you have a guilty pleasure TV show?
So right now, like currently, it's Dancing with the Stars, but I don't know if that's a guilty pleasure.
Oh my gosh, you missed it tonight. So sorry.
That's how much I love you guys.
Oh my
I did
gosh, I'm
not
so
watch it
sorry.
tonight.
I
I
know you
know.
got
I'm gonna
voted off.
watch
I
it.
won't say anything.
Please don't tell me. I'm gonna watch it tomorrow night, and I'm gonna stay off my phone for 24 hours because I can't watch it until tomorrow night on Disney Plus. So I'm new-ish though to the Dancing with the Stars, so I had a lot of drama to catch up on. I really started watching last season mainly because of Alona Barr when she was on it, because I just think she's awesome.
I love her.
Yes. And when I heard she was going to be on it, I was like, well, I guess I got to watch the show now. And so she kind of got me hooked in it. And then, and now I'm just watching for Robert Irwin and Elaine Hendricks, of course. So, yeah. And Topanga was on there. Oh my gosh. Like this season was just like millennial heaven. So,
Boy Meets World is an undervalued show.
it's so good. It's so good. That was one of my faves.
Was Topanga one of your crushes?
Oh, yes.
I never really
Topanga,
got into Boy Meets World.
She was one of my crushes. What are you kidding? She's
Kelly Kapowski, and Kimberly from Power Rangers.
Yeah.
the Pink Ranger. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm more of a Tommy girl. And Harrison Ford.
So you've been in 3 different parts of the U.S. as far as like where you've lived and where you've taught. Do you have a favorite like place to eat in each one of those places?
Yes. I feel like in Tallahassee, I don't know if I have one favorite place in Tallahassee. Tallahassee had a lot of great seafood because it was really close to the Gulf. So yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I had a favorite place in Tallahassee. Honestly, we went to a lot of different places. We didn't eat out a ton, just because I like to cook and my husband likes to cook, so we like to cook a lot together. So we don't eat out a ton. But when we were usually getting Bon Thai, which is our favorite Thai place in Tallahassee, or there was a seafood place called Wahoo, and that place was great. It had the best hush puppies. That's like I could go there and just get like 5 orders of hush puppies.
I love hush
puppies. And it had like Gulf shrimp and like, oh, it was so good. But yeah, that place was great. There was a place called the something Caboose, Red Caboose, Midtown Caboose, that we would always go to after football games. That was kind of our after football game. You go to Redtown Caboose. Salt Lake City is actually surprisingly a great place for food because it's like a melting pot. I know. Don't laugh.
Like it's actually a good place for
Okay.
food.
No, it's just most people think that, oh, what's in Utah? Like when they think of like a foodie place, I feel like they don't think of Utah.
I think of Crumble and Swig.
Yes, exactly. It's more than that.
Do you have a soda order?
No, I don't drink soda.
Have you ever been to Swig at all?
I only went once, and it was because my brother and sister-in-law came to Utah, and my sister-in-law wanted to go to Swig.
Oh, speaking of Will,
Speaking of my brother.
Speaking of Will, Was he a good trombone player?
No. Are you kidding me?
Was he in it to meet girl?
Will, no, he was in it. Well, so my dad played trombone. So I think it was like Will's forte was always guitar and like drums. Like he played drum set and he still plays guitar. He plays at First Baptist Belton. And so he still plays like just like rhythm guitar and like bass guitar and then drums, like drum set. So that was really more of his thing. Um, and then he did band just because, do band.
Family business.
Yes, the family biz. And so he actually quit band after his freshman year of high school. So he didn't even do it all the way through high school.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
I know.
Oh, well.
So I know.
I don't think I really knew that your dad played trombone. I just always,
I
when
knew
I think
that.
of Steve, I think of singing and playing guitar.
Yeah.
Well, he was an all-state choir member.
Yeah.
So, but choir was always his thing, but he was also in band. He was in band and choir. But he was always better at choir because his master's is in church music. And he sang, no big deal. He sang professionally for several years. So, yeah. So he was always
No
more of
big deal.
no big deal. He sang at the White House, whatever. Anyway, so yes, so there's surprisingly a lot of really good food in Utah. There's just a fusion of a lot of different cultures. Um, there's a lot of really good Italian food. There's a lot of good pizza places. There's a Detroit style pizza place that we love, Brick's Corner, because the owner is like born and raised in Michigan. Um, and and then there's a great sushi place downtown, which I know sounds weird, like to have a really good sushi place in a landlocked state, but the sushi is flown in daily from Seattle, so it's like good. Yeah, it's good. Um, and then there's a really really cute. I don't even know what kind of American modern cuisine. It's downtown, right by the Capitol. It's called Arlo, and the way I found out about it is because Tan France lives in Salt Lake City and Tan France goes there. And so I was like, we need to go there because I want to meet Tan France. But also, if Tan France likes it, then it must be good. This place is so good. It's built, the restaurant is super small. It's in like it's in a small little house, like what you would imagine like a 2 or a 3 bedroom little house would be. So there's not that many tables inside. It's very quaint. All of the food is locally sourced and it's made from like local ingredients, and there's no menu online, so you can't go online and look at the menu. It's whatever the chefs make that day. So they have sample menus online that you can look at, but you're not guaranteed to have the same menu twice. So if you see something you want, they tell you to order it because they might not make it again. So that's one of our favorite places. We go there for like we would go there for like some special occasions and stuff like that because it's right by the Capitol. So one of our favorite things is in the spring we'd go eat at Arlo and then go walk around the Capitol and see the cherry blossoms. Because Utah Capitol has a huge circle around it. And it's just filled with cherry blossom trees, and when they're in full bloom, it's just stunning, so pretty. And then there's a lot of great restaurants in Park City. Like in any place you go eat in Park City is good.
How about in Texas? If we were to go to Commerce, Texas, where do we have to go?
So if you're talking, this is such a funny question because my mind immediately went to Tokyo Express, which is just the Japanese place just right across from campus. The people joke that it's, when I say the people, I mean Garth Gunderson says it's the best restaurant in Commerce, Texas. It's like okay. So but it's where everybody goes. It's right across from campus. Yeah, I've literally eaten at probably 2 restaurants in Commerce.
I thought you were gonna say a dining hall.
Yeah, the calf is really, the lion calf is lit. No, there's a pretty decent Italian place there. We went there Sunday night with Omar Thomas actually, and he seemed to enjoy the food. Yeah, I just had
Who never heard of him?
just had some pasta a few nights ago.
I got some quick fire questions for you, Steph. All right. Is a Payday and a Baby Ruth bar the same candy with chocolate?
Jose. What is this on the sheet now?
Yeah, it's on the sheet now.
I don't think so. I don't think they're the same thing. I think they're even in theory and composition they might be, but they serve two different functions. So no, they're not the same.
If they're the same thing, then why do they make chocolate covered paydays?
It's a money grab.
That's true. That's true. She got
How
you
is
on
it
that.
a money grab?
It's
They
a
have
money
to
grab.
manufacture two different products that cost more money.
Are
How
they
is that
all
a
from
grab?
Are they from the same company?
Yes.
Oh,
They could just
they're
be
Hershey.
they could just be repackaging it.
It's not the same
Okay,
thing.
all right. Well, then,
You can't repackage something that's not the same.
All right, sure.
See, if it was different candy companies, I would almost argue that it is a money grab. But if it's the same, it's like, what are they doing? They're just doing it for the chaos at this point.
Yep. I mean,
they're doing it to infuriate me because I've had more fights about this in the
You're
past
the chaos.
week than.
I got struck over this question.
You keep saying that, and
I there's video evidence, woman.
You can't see anything. It's just audio.
Okay, we're back. We're back to the mandatory reporting.
If you were guaranteed the answer to one question, what would it be? Oh, I changed up some of the questions because I know you listen.
Say it again.
If you were guaranteed the answer to one question, what would it be?
Jesus Christ. I don't know.
Who shot Kennedy?
I know. My mind immediately went political because of everything going on right now. So, yeah. I don't know. I have no idea if I have one question. Is a payday? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
The same thing as a Baby Ruth. That's the
world
question.
said no.
The Lord knows. So there we go.
What's the last gift you gave someone?
I gave my children dinner.
That is a gift.
I don't know. I feel like I am one of those people that I'm bad at waiting to give gifts. Like if I find something that someone likes, I just give it to them. Oh, I bought James a Christmas present today, and I just gave it to him when we got home. So I guess I forgot about that. So
what was the gift?
it was one of those chocolate oranges. You know,
I love those.
Yes.
And I know he loves them too. And I usually get him those for Christmas and put them in a stocking. So I got him one today, and I was like, "Here, I got you this for Christmas." It's like,
nice.
Thanks.
You want to talk about a purely unique candy? It's those
Mhm.
people.
Yep.
No one else is doing that.
Yep, you're right. What is a skill you want to learn this year that you've never done before?
Damn.
Ooh, Jose came out. Jose came out with new ones.
You're making me think about this at 11 p.m. I've been up since 5 a.m., bruh. Okay.
She said, bruh. This is bugs.
I did. So a new skill that I want to learn. Is that what you said? Sorry, I already forgot the question.
Yeah, a new skill you would like to learn. Would you like me to go back to the old questions so that way you don't have to?
Maybe you didn't ask me about the Dairy Queen yet. I'm ready for that question.
Yes, the Dairy Queen.
I would like to. I don't know. I feel like I've always wanted to do a hobby that's like peaceful but productive. Like I've always admired people that can like crochet and like do that, and then they're like, "Here's a hat." You know what I mean? Like that. That's a productive hobby. Like you're not just sitting there doing something and have nothing to show for it. Like I just imagine that crocheting is so peaceful and mindless. And it's like, and then you get a scarf and it's like beautiful. So maybe I'm just going to say I would love to learn how to crochet, but I don't know if I have the patience for that.
I don't, because then you accidentally like tie a knot or something, and
or you do the rows wrong.
Yes,
yeah, and then
incorrectly.
Then you have a lumpy scarf that's not supposed to be scalloped, but it somehow looks scalloped. Yeah.
If I was gonna make a scarf, it would just be the ball of yarn.
Didn't somebody try to teach you how to?
Yes, Hannah did. It did not go well.
Yep. If you had 3 wishes, what would they be?
Can more wishes be the wish?
Nope.
You didn't say it.
We're going with Genie and the Aladdin rules.
I would wish for no debt for me and any of my family members. I would love. I would love to travel, so I don't know if like a wish. I don't feel like I want like a plane so I can travel anywhere, because then that's just, you're just gonna have to.
PJ.
That's expensive to upkeep, Then I feel like I have to wish for like unlimited like gas and unlimited like you have to pay the pilot. So I don't know. I always wish that I could travel more. So maybe I could just wish for endless airline miles. Yeah, Delta 1 miles. Runneth my cup runneth over with Delta 1 miles.
Unlimited Delta 1 miles. Or
Yes, there
like,
we are.
was it American Airlines that used to sell the
Yes.
unlimited, the card?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Unlimited flights?
and then the people ruined it for all us normal people. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 2 wishes. You got 1 left.
Um, oh my gosh. I think it would be great to sleep more than I do. So maybe a nap time every day would be
Ooh,
great.
that would be a good wish.
I
Yeah.
asked our kids, because they said something about resting the other day, and I said, do you nap at school? And they said, no, Mom, we're not in pre-K. I was like, oh, my bad.
Oh, snap.
How do you not know that? Oh,
But
yeah.
The sass,
Yeah.
man.
Oh, it's a real thing.
Well, I have
Um,
too.
yeah. How would you describe your job to an alien who just landed?
I have minions that make noise, and I tell them how to make the noise.
If you were a crayon in a box, what color would you be and
what are
why?
these questions?
Am I the pilot run for all of these new questions?
Yes, you
Whose
are.
podcast am I on right now?
Hey,
With
you got
chaos.
you got upset. You were like, "Can we change up some of the questions on the pod?" Welcome to the change.
I didn't mean the quick fire ones,
I
but
feel
here we are.
I also feel like she meant like, oh, put one in, not like let's just delete,
Not
like
what crayon are you?
right click delete all the questions, start from scratch.
PJ, what crayon are you?
Me, the brown one.
I'm gonna go with marigold.
Ooh, why?
I don't know. It's like looks like sunshine, and that's happy. And yeah,
That's a good answer. If you had a time machine, what historical event would you go to and why?
There's so many to choose from.
I I think it would be cool to, I don't know, go back and see a dinosaur or something. But then I feel like I would be eaten instantly, so that doesn't make any sense.
Oof.
Something cool like that. I feel like it would be neat to go back to see like,
The Titanic sink.
yeah, no. Well, maybe. I don't know. Like to see like the Coliseum, when Hillary Duff sang in it.
With like 3 different dubbed voices.
Yes, yes, yes. Something cool like that. I feel like I would want to see something like a cool historical building, or see something like the dinosaurs or something. Yeah.
How much would could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
4 ounces.
4 ounces. All right. We're gonna go back to our normally scheduled program. Taylor Swift, Miley Cyrus, or Ariana Grande?
She's a Swiftie.
You know I'm a Swiftie, so Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Favorite rom com?
Crazy Rich Asians.
That is a good one.
It's so
Toilet
good.
paper, over or under?
Over, not a psychopath.
Thank you very much.
Do you have a favorite candy?
Yeah,
If you
I
say
like.
Payday or Baby Ruth, I'm gonna.
I really like Reese's. I think Reese's are just a really good standard. Can't go wrong with the good Reese's, but specifically the dark well, they're not Reese's, they're peanut butter cups, I guess. The dark chocolate peanut butter cups from Trader Joe's. Those are really, really good.
Which Twix do you prefer, the left or the right?
There's literally no difference.
Not with that attitude.
I don't know if there's a difference. I feel like I like the mini Twix, the ones that are like just little bite size, because then there's more chocolate, because it's like 2 ends in 1 bite. But I think the left or the right thing is just a marketing scam. I don't think there's a difference.
What's your Patronus?
My 2.5-year-old daughter. She's so much like me. I don't know, maybe a meerkat or something. They're They're cute but anxious. You know what I mean?
Same.
Sousa, King, or Fillmore?
Sousa.
Do you have a favorite Sousa march?
I as a flutist, I feel like I just have to say Stars and Stripes because the piccolo part is just iconic, and
Yes.
I could play it without even having to rehearse it. That's the thing. It's so ingrained. Like I've practiced it so much that it's just in my muscle memory.
And or a piccolo.
Do you have a favorite stand tune?
Yes. So this is maybe more Utah specific. It's not like a popular one, but it's Mount Crushmore, and it's by a band called Lettuce, and
I've heard of Lettuce.
it's really freaking cool. It's a really cool stand tune. It's a great stand tune. So now you know.
Worst stand tune.
I think it depends on the band. I don't know, the Hey song maybe.
Does the Pride play the horse?
No, thank God. Maybe that one. I don't know.
Just curious.
No, we played Neck. That one's good. So,
What do you have a favorite store?
my favorite store,
Yes.
Costco.
Good choice. Good choice.
Yeah.
What's your walk-up song?
Maybe I didn't anticipate all of these. Oh, gosh, I don't even know. Sorry, the fatigue is hitting me. My first instinct was pour some sugar on me, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
This is where we get the real answers.
I don't know if that makes any sense, or it's just a good it's just a good groove. The song is just yeah, or maybe it would be Mount Crushmore. Well, yeah.
What's a good spy code name for you?
Daphne.
Daphne.
Spelled with an F.
No, STFNY. Stephanie.
I thought you were gonna say like STEFFKN.
No, I was thinking Stephanie, like STEFNY, because there was one time where someone spelled my name like that on like a Starbucks cup, and I was
Better
just
than
like,
HOSE.
"Oh wow,
Hose.
hose." Too bad it didn't have a Y.
Stephanie
HOSA.
is just really concise.
Yep.
It
It's
is.
efficient.
That's what I'm saying. Why say lot word when few words do
Is there a TV show you like quoting?
trick? I do quote The Office a lot. I feel like I quote Friends more though. Like I can have a Friends quote for almost any situation, but The Office definitely.
If someone played you in a movie, who would it be?
I feel like I would want it to be Emma Stone, but maybe I don't know. Maybe that's not a good pick. I feel like that's who I would want it to be, but only because she's redheaded. I don't know. I feel like everybody's like, "Oh, you have red hair, so you all look alike."
No, y'all don't all look alike. Sweet or savory?
Sweet.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
I feel like it'd be cool. What is it when you can move things with your mind? Like Matilda. Like I want to be Matilda.
It's
You
not
know?
telekinesis, is it?
Yeah, I think no.
Is it? It might be telekinesis.
Telepathy?
I just want to be I just Matilda. Ever since I saw that movie, I was like, man, that's it. She's got it all. Like, you know, she making the pancakes without touching the egg. It's just that's the dream.
Woefully abused, but the pancakes. She has to like hang out in the chokey half the time, but
She literally yeah.
Telekinesis.
Abandoned by her parents to a complete stranger. They were just like, okay, you live here now. But she can make pancakes, so that's fine.
What's your most used emoji?
I use the heart emoji probably the most, but just because that's what I send 90% of the time to James. So,
Do you have a favorite dessert?
I really love a classic like chocolate chip cookie. But if it's like at a restaurant, I'll probably go for I don't know, some sort of cheesecake maybe.
If you could have any one animal, real or fictional, as a pet, what would it be?
Ooh, a meerkat because they're so cute.
Do you love a meerkat when they stand up?
Yes, and they like look around and their little bellies. Like, do you ever just want to like pat? I just want to like scratch their like pat their little bellies.
All right, Steph, I got one last question for you. Is there a Dairy Queen in your hometown or where you live?
Yes and yes. There is one in Corsicana, and there is one here, which now we live in Leonard. That's where we live. So it's like a good halfway point between Commerce and Bonham. But there is a Dairy Queen here, and there is a Dairy Queen in Corsicana. And there were Dairy Queens in Salt Lake City. However, they were not the same. They did not have steak fingers.
Oh,
That's the
I
killer thing right
I
there.
know. They didn't serve them at all. It's so ergo not a real Dairy Queen. So yeah.
what's your Dairy Queen order?
Well, steak fingers.
Of
And
course.
of course. Yes. And classic Oreo Blizzard.
You
Basic
really,
but classic.
I mean, you really can't go wrong with the Oreo Blizzard.
What I'm saying. It's so good.
The mint Oreo is really good.
Yeah, that too.
Yes.
That one is good.
Do they have that one all the time, or is it a seasonal?
I think so. I think it's just like on the menu.
Okay. I feel like I thought that was a seasonal one.
I think
Did they ever do like a Thin Mint one?
I think
so.
they do that when they sell Girl Scout cookies. I know right now that it's peppermint bark.
Oh,
So
I like peppermint bark.
I like peppermint bark too.
I bet that's really good.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Well, I think that's all I have.
I don't have any more thoughts.
Have any more thoughts
We're just gonna fight when I turn off the microphones.
about Baby Ruth?
Yes. This is all Shaka's fault.
Well, Stephanie, we appreciate you being on the podcast. We're so glad we got to see you and talk to you. I mean, it's way too long. If you ever have an opportunity, you need to go out and see the wonderful things that are happening over at East Texas A&M. Some really great things. Shout out to all the fine educators that have come out through that program. Alexa, do you have any closing thoughts?
Go Lions.
Go Lions.
Stephanie, do you have any closing thoughts?
Go Lions.
Well, that's all I have.
Oh, well, thanks for listening to Band Yap. We'll see you next time. Bye.
We out.